CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Look at Mark Sanchez as he gets ready. Last year cut his interceptions from 2009, but has 10 this season with 6 games left. And Rich, they have been several game-changing interceptions.
Yeah, he's making too many mistakes right now, Marv, and I think he's pressing a little bit. I think he feels the weight of the world on his shoulders, trying to do too much sometimes. And I think the important thing is that he gets off to a good start, that he settles in and plays like he's capable of.
Combination of Antonio Cromartie and Joe McKnight are back deep. There is McKnight, who figures to see additional playing time with LaDainian Tomlinson out, and Dave Rayner will kick it off for Buffalo. It'll be run out by McKnight. Broken tackle on a spin, breaks another, and gets up near the 30-yard line. It was said just the other day that McKnight would not be returning kicks because of a couple of fumbles each of the last 2 games, but obviously the Jets changed their mind. A look at the Jets, who have struggled offensively. Pro Bowl center Nick Mangold anchors that offensive line. Third-year running back Sean Green back from the injured rib that forced him out of last week's game in Denver. And as I mentioned, LaDainian Tomlinson is sidelined once again due to a sprained knee. So Green and the Terminator, the fullback John Connor, in the backfield and lined up in the eye. And Connor gets the call. Picked up 4 on the play. Past couple of weeks, the Bills have been a disaster defensively up front. Much is expected for Marcell Dareus, the first-round pick out of Alabama, but it's not done much as of late. The linebackers, the rookie from LSU, Kelvin Shepard, coming up with a safety in Miami last week, and the secondary decimated by injuries. Another rookie, Aaron Williams, playing for the injured Terrence McGee at left corner. And that pass through the hands of the tight end, Dustin Keller. Another rookie, Denard Searcy, starting for George Wilson at strong safety. Searcy's 2nd straight start.
Well, that ball got on Dustin Keller so quick, he never even had a chance to get his eyes around. Mark has to make sure that the tight end sees the throw. That's in a tight window. You've got to give him a chance. Look at Dustin Keller, just late with his eyes. As soon as he turns his head around, the ball's right in on him.
3rd and 6, opening series of the game. Sanchez pass is broken up at midfield. Again, it is intended for Keller, who is covered by the strong safety, Searcy.
Searcy played a lot of snaps last week, Marv. The rookie led the team to 11 tackles, and he really has done a nice job filling in for the injured George Wilson, making plays in that secondary.
3 and out. TJ Conley will punt from inside his 20-yard line, and Leotis McKelvin is back deep. Calls for the fair catch. 45-yard punt. And now the Bills to the offense. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has had some problems as of late, throwing a host of interceptions.
Well, he's very aggressive with the football, Marv. I think he's one of those quarterbacks that's never seen a throw he didn't like, and sometimes I get the sense that he doesn't really care how tight the coverage is or how tight the window. He's still going to try and fit one in there, and more often than not, that's where he's gotten himself in trouble the last few weeks.
Out of Gilbert, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix, originally a 7th-round pick of St. Louis. Spent some time with the Rams and the Bengals, emerging the last couple of years with Buffalo. This is C.J. Spiller playing for the injured Fred Jackson And there's nothing there. Well, one of the Bills' major problems because of injuries, we touched on it earlier, another shuffle of the offensive line. Craig Urbick at center, moving over from right guard, running backs and receivers. We talked about Spiller. He's at the running back spot for Jackson. Huge loss for Buffalo. Most of the season, Fred Jackson was leading the NFL in rushing. Play action. And that pass broken up, nearly picked off as Fitzpatrick went to the Revis Island side of the field, intended for Stevie Johnson. Well, here are the Jets in their base defense, 3-4. The rookie from Temple, Muhammad Wilkerson at defensive end. He's their only rookie starter. The linebackers, Bart Scott, one-time Raven, the Jets' emotional leader in the secondary, three-time Pro Bowl cornerback Darrelle Revis, not a friend of the opposing quarterback. High snap. Fitzpatrick. And that is broken up. Intended for David Nelson. Kyle Wilson appeared to get a piece of it.
Really nice adjustment by Kyle Wilson. Catches that ball right at the end. Does a nice job deflecting it and getting it away. But both offenses 3 and out, Marvin. Both offenses have really struggled. You go back and you look at the film the last couple weeks. Turnovers certainly have been a big story for the Buffalo Bills.
This is Brian Mormon punting from his 10. Jim Leonard is back. He says, hey, let it go. And it took a good hop for the Jets as it carried out of bounds, and a flag is thrown. The referee today is Carl Sheffers. 31-yard punt by Mormon.
Holding number 54 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, timeout.
The hold is called on the Jets. We'll step away. We'll be back to the New Jersey Meadowlands momentarily. It has been a disappointing season for Jet fans. They won their first 2, lost 3 in a row, won 3 straight, including that win at Buffalo, followed by the 2 straight losses. Santonio Holmes picked up 4 on the play. Drayton Florence making the stop.
Well, after essentially promising a Super Bowl in the preseason, Rex Ryan and the Jets have some ground to make. I think the biggest problem, lack of production on the ground, just 26 in rushing, and that's put more of the burden on Mark Sanchez, who has to play better down the stretch in order for the Jets to make the playoffs.
Second down and 6. This is Green. Rich, I know you were asked to work with Mark Sanchez for a couple of days, 2 years ago? What did you see then, and what do you see now?
Well, he was a young, inexperienced quarterback, Marv, and they asked me to come in and really help him with his preparation, learning how to break down an opponent, study, look at the game plan, memorize formations, and really become a student of the game. And I think that's really one area where I think he's become much better. Now, you look at the physical play on the field, the accuracy to me continues to be an issue.
It's Green able to make the cut for the first down. Went to the edge off the flip from Sanchez, chased by Barnett. 16 yards on that play.
Well, they want to fake the belly and get the toss going to Sean Green, and that draws the action, and now they get outside contained. Sean Green needs to have a busy day on the ground in order for this Jets offense to be successful. This is the problem that they've had right now. They've not run the ball as well as they have in the past.
Green now the starting running back after backing up Thomas Jones and LaDainian Tomlinson his first 2 seasons. A deep drop by Sanchez, and it's almost intercepted again. He threw into a crowd. There were 4 defenders in that area, and Drayton Florence nearly picked it off.
Well, we used to have a joke, Marv. We'd call that cover 4. 4 of their defenders around one of our receivers. You just can't make that throw if you're Mark Sanchez. You know that with help over the top, Drayton Florence, the corner, is going to hang underneath, and he is going to jump any of these in-breaking routes. And Plex has to do a better job crossing the face of the safety and not allowing McKelvin to come back underneath.
Second down and 10 at the 41. A straight-ahead move by Green. Getting back to Sanchez, has he regressed, or is it the lack of the running game?
I think he's one of these quarterbacks where if things are going well around him, if they're running the football well, they're playing great defense, creating turnovers and field positions in short fields, then he can function. But if he has to carry the football team and throw it 35 or 40 times, they're just not good enough right now in the passing game.
5 giveaways returned for touchdowns, most in the NFL. That big one against Denver in the Thursday night game, which turned things around in the third quarter. That is incomplete. Dustin Keller, the tight end, attempting the diving catch. Hit it in front of Brian Scott, but once again, the Jets forced to punt.
They can't take advantage of good field position. If you track Mark Sanchez's throws, Marv, a lot of them are going to wind up in the direction of Dustin Keller. That's really his security blanket. He's leading the team in receptions, and that's where he's most comfortable throwing the football in the middle of the field.
So Leotis McKelvin is back for this punt. McKelvin did not play on defense last week, seeing action only on special teams. Calls for the fair catch. They have been down on McKelvin as a quarterback, so he's back returning punts.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart. And by Allstate. Shop less, get more. Make one call to an Allstate agent.
Beautiful shot of the Manhattan skyline across the river from MetLife Stadium. Bills take over. This is C.J. Spiller in the starting lineup for the injured Fred Jackson. Mike DeVito made the tackle. And C.J. Spiller, who does have blazing speed, has been on the disappointing side. He has not shown progress when you consider he was a first-round pick last year out of Clemson, the 9th selection overall.
Yeah, he's had a difficult time getting on the field. I think a big reason why is the production of Fred Jackson. But as a rookie, Marv, he struggled with ball security and pass protection. It's a big reason why he hasn't had more snaps.
Second down and 6. Again, it's Spiller trying to make the turn. Forced out by Darrelle Revis, and a flag is thrown.
We're going to get somebody for a face mask there on C.J. Spiller.
Personal foul, face mask, number 22, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It is Brodney Poole, 7-year veteran out of Oklahoma, who's back after missing the last couple of games with a knee problem.
Yeah, right there at the end, and simply can't do that. You look at C.J. Spiller, Marvin, what he really wants to do, as you mentioned, is use his speed and get out on the edge. He's got a tendency to want to bounce runs, and it's going to be important for this Jets defense to contain him, force him back inside.
Buffalo picking up the first down by virtue of that penalty. Here is Fitzpatrick, wide open. Brad Smith, the former Jet, makes the catch across the 45. That's the first completion for Fitzpatrick. Lombardi on the coverage of Smith.
And Brad Smith needs to have a big day, Marv, with all the injuries at wide receiver. And here's a guy that doesn't have a lot of training at wide receiver. Really was a special teams player, came over to run the Wildcat. They haven't done a lot of that this year, but because of the injury situation with Donald Jones, Brad Smith going to be their third receiver today. He got plenty of reps.
And I asked Ryan Fitzpatrick yesterday, will we see Brad Smith in the Wildcat? He said, I can't tell you that. Here's Spiller finding a hole. You know those Harvard guys.
Well, the Bills have gotten off to such a fantastic start, but after losing 4 of their last 5 games, Marv, their playoff hopes are fading. I think one of the big reasons has been the sudden rash of injuries. Fred Jackson, Kyle Williams, Eric Wood. I mean, the list goes on and on. Another problem has been the recent issue with the turnovers. 13 in the last 5 games.
2nd and 3 off that 7-yard pickup. Hard move by Spiller. And a flag comes flying. Uha, the nose
Holding,
tackle.
number 79, offense. 10-yard
Made the
penalty.
stop, and it's Eric
Repeat second
Peters,
down.
the right tackle, called for the penalty.
Well, Peters is about the only player along that offensive line that's been in the same spot most of the year. You think about all the changes. Chris Harrison, the left tackle, rookie. He's played the last couple weeks. Levitri, the poor guy, had to play left tackle. He started at left guard. He played center last week. Too many changes up front. Not a lot of continuity, and it's affected their production in the running game and the pass protection as well.
Sets it back to a second down and 13 at the 42-yard line. Spiller, the lone deep back. Fitzpatrick right on target for Stevie Johnson. Johnson being played by Rivas, picked up 9. Time for an NFL Today update. Let's go to JB and Shannon.
An impressive way for Atlanta to get on the scoreboard.
Yes, JB, this is how you finish off an 80-yard drive. Throw it to Harry Douglas, stiff arm the middle linebacker, gets into the end zone, 7-0, Falcons early.
Falcons have won 4 of the last 5. Back to Marv Albert and Rich Gannon.
All right, guys, Buffalo quickly to the line. We're halfway through this first quarter with no score. Changes made by Fitzpatrick. Has a first down with the tight end, Scott Chandler. Chandler making the catch in front of the defensive back Poole. Scott Chandler in his third year out of Iowa.
Pretty good protection for Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's going to have to step up inside today, and Scotty Chandler at 6'7", a little bit of a mismatch when you look at the smaller safety Brodney Poole on the big tight end.
Hey, solid.
First down at the Jet 38. Spiller tries the other side. Flags are thrown as Spiller is hit for a loss by David Harris, the inside linebacker.
Holding, number 76, offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Now this time it's on the right guard, Chad Reinhardt. Man who was on the Jets roster last season, and he's back at right guard after playing the last 4 games at left guard as part of that offensive line shuffle by the Bills.
3 different starters at left tackle already this season, 3 different starters at center. The 2 most important positions along your offensive line. We talked about the continuity and how that impacts the communication. That's going to be really important today for Ryan Fitzpatrick and new center Craig Urban.
Bills set back to a first down at 20. Fitzpatrick with the tie. Oh, the leaping catch by Stevie Johnson, short of a first down. 15-yard pickup.
Well, this is good to see if you're a Bills fan. They need to get Stevie Johnson going early. He's been shut out the last couple of weeks. Great job at the top of the route. Great plant. And that really gets him some separation from Darrelle Revis. He was really excited when we sat down and visited with him last night, Marv, about this matchup with Darrelle Revis. He thinks he's the best in football. He knows he has to be on his game in order to win against Revis.
Stevie Johnson has been under the weather the last couple of weeks. Spiller dancing his way. Gets inside the 30. Stopped by Harris. Pickup of 3.
Well, he's been struggling, as we talked about, the last 3 weeks. He's not caught a ball in the first half. Just 7 catches and no touchdowns. And he knows what it takes to work a guy like Darrelle Revis. He said he's got to be great, disciplined in his routes. He's got to change things up, his releases, his stems, and he's got to make sure that he finishes because Revis will run the route for you. This is a great challenge today for Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson, the Bills' leading receiver. That's Dave Nelson at the far side in motion. The third down and 2. Fitzpatrick completes for the first down. He has C.J. Spiller running it out at the 15-yard line. In recent weeks with Fred Jackson in the lineup, Spiller, for the most part, has been a wide receiver.
That's where he spent most of his time, so we know he can run routes out of the backfield. And right there, the safety gets fooled. You see Eric Smith. He's got him in man-to-man coverage. And you look at Ryan Fitzpatrick, Marv, I think he's a streaky player. And when he gets off to a good start and he gets rolling, he can be very effective.
5 straight completions by Fitzpatrick. Has a first down at the Jets' 15. The handoff to Spiller. And Spiller forced out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. A 7-yard run. It's been an impressive start for the second-year man out of Clemson, C.J. Spiller.
And what you can't do is allow C.J. Spiller to get on the edge of your defense. And Garrett McIntyre, the outside linebacker, they've got to force him back up inside where they have help. C.J. does not want to run up inside. He prefers to get on the edge where he can use his speed and quickness.
Now Johnny White, rookie out of North Carolina, has come on for Spiller. This is the 10th play of the drive. Second down and 3 for the Bills. The handoff to White. And White gets to the marker. Let's see where they spotted David Harris. Able to stack him up.
It was interesting in talking to Chan Gailey last night. He said no one's going to feel sorry for us. I mean, in this business, no one cares about the injuries. They lost one of their best offensive linemen, Eric Wood. They lose the best overall player in Fred Jackson. Lose your starting wide receiver. They've been without their left tackle. Nobody cares. If the Bills hope to make the playoffs, they have to come into a hostile environment like New York and find a way to get it done with some backups.
You can see the animated look at the drive, which is now in its 11th play. That's blown dead, and a timeout has been called. Timeout is taken by the Bills. We have no score. 2:49 left in the first. Well, with playoff hopes very much at stake here today, it's of note that in this, the 102nd all-time meeting between the Jets and the Bills, going back to the old AFL days, these two clubs have been in the playoffs only once. It was back 1981, the AFC wildcard game at Shea Stadium. Joe Ferguson with a 50-yard touchdown pass to Frank Lewis. Bills led it 24-zip. Richard Todd throwing 2 touchdown passes to help the Jets get back within 4 points. But Bill Simpson with an interception for Buffalo at the 1-yard line, helping preserve the Bills' 31-27 victory back in 1981 at the one-time home of the Jets, Shea Stadium. C.J. Spiller returns to the backfield. That last timeout was changed. It was charged to the Jets. It's a 3rd and a yard. Fitzpatrick with the shovel pass. Spiller on the edge. Did not have the angle, had to run it out of bounds, but has a first down. It'll be 1st and goal for Buffalo.
This isn't something we've seen a lot from the Bills. A little bit of option with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Not something that he's known for. Something a little different in the game plan for the Jets, but you know he's going to pitch it. Ryan Fitzpatrick's not going to carry the ball. Pretty easy to decipher if you're that Jets defense.
Buffalo has scored touchdowns on 13 of its 16 goal-to-goal situations this season. They certainly have struggled their last 2 games, blown out by Dallas and then by Miami last week. 1st and goal, handoff Spiller, a little mix-up on that exchange, and Spiller is hit back for a loss. Muhammad Wilkerson, the rookie first-round pick out of Temple. That's a loss of 3.
Well, you take a look at Muhammad Wilkerson. He's just going to beat the left guard right across his face. That's good quickness. Actually, he follows the left guard. The left guard's actually pulling Andy Levitre. He's just going to follow him right to the back, C.J. Spiller.
Second down and goal. Just under 2 minutes to play here on the first. Fitzpatrick fires, touchdown! David Nelson, second-year player out of the University of Florida, 8-yard pass play. He's starting for the injured Donald Jones, signed as a free agent last season. He was actually just a part-time player at Florida. What a discovery for the Bills.
And he's got the size that you like for in a receiver, particularly one that plays in the slot so much at 6'5", against the smaller corner, Kyle Wilson.
Dave Rayner with the extra point. So the Bills, who have gotten off very slowly in recent weeks, jump in front of the Jets here late first quarter by the score of 7-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits, only from Sprint. And by the 2011 Ford F-150, built Ford tough.
Marv Albert, Rich Gannon from MetLife Stadium. An impressive drive by the Buffalo Bills. 13 plays, 90 yards, just under 9 minutes. You see the stats for Ryan Fitzpatrick, the 6 for 6, 74 yards on that drive. Joe McKnight returning for the Jets. 13 yards on the return. Let's see what Mark Sanchez can do. Still looking for his first completion.
The NFL on CBS.
Buffalo Bills over the New York Jets with 1.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. 7-0 lead. Jets back in possession. Sean Green in the backfield. Mark Sanchez 0 for 4 to this point. Green, his second effort as he makes his way out to the 28, picked up 5, met by Spencer Johnson, the outside linebacker.
Well, when your two teams are struggling offensively, as a play caller, you want to make sure your quarterback gets off to a good start. You look at those numbers there for Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was real sharp. But Mark Sanchez, what can you do to get him going? And I think it's some high completion throws, some things where he's got some comfort with, some short intermediate throws where he can have some success.
Well, Rex Ryan felt he had the answer from a motivational point of view. It's still very early. Sanchez off the pump, went underneath to Sean Green. Chris Kelsey was right there. Rex attempting that motivational ploy earlier this week, trying to get Mark Sanchez going. He knew he'd get into Sanchez's head by having backup Mark Brunell take a series of snaps in practice. Did the same last December when he considered benching Sanchez after the Jets lost 2 in a row. Then Mark was quoted in a magazine article that he wanted to fight Rex Ryan, and that week Sanchez did play and came up with one of his better games at a win over Pittsburgh. Again, it's a handoff, this time an end around. Santonio Holmes makes it work, getting across midfield. Good block by Plexico Burress. It's a 23-yard advance.
Well, they do a nice job here. You're going to see the end around. They fake the action this way. And this is where the big plays come. They suck up that defense inside. You can see the end around to Santonio Holmes. As a defender, you've got to make sure, Spencer Johnson, you keep that back up inside.
So that will do it for this opening quarter. The score, the Bills nothing. The Bills 7 and the Jets nothing. Will return to the Meadowlands after these messages. On to the second quarter with Buffalo in front of the Jets. 7-0. Jets with a 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 47. And again to the ground. Sean Green finding the opening. Gets inside the 30. Pulled down by the combination of Denoris Searcy and Jairus Byrd. Picks up 18.
Well, the lead ISO or the draw, and they get their fullback, John Connor. He gets up in there first, and then Sean Green's got a big hole to run through. And this is what they've got to do. And talking to Rex on Friday, he said, we've got to run it more. The last 2 years, 54% of their snaps were runs. This year, that number has dropped to 43%. And this is the time of the year where they really seem to kick the running game into overdrive.
And Joe McKnight has come on for Sean Green, the lineup in the offset eye. Sanchez looking for Burress. A diving attempt. The officials checking with each other. Drayton Florence on the coverage, and it is ruled a completed pass.
Well, Mark Sanchez is going to start to his left and work all the way back across the formation to Plax, and I don't know, that one might have skidded off the ground. It's hard to see there. It happened so quick.
Picked up 7. It'll be a 2nd down and 3. And McKnight finds the hole. He has a 1st down. Met by Kelvin Shepard. Joe McKnight second-year player at the University of Southern Cal, a teammate there of Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, they don't care how they get it done, whether it's Sean Green or Joe McKnight. The tempo has been a point of emphasis in practice all week. They need to be better. There has to be a sense of urgency with this offense. I think getting the plays in quicker, in and out of the huddle, less time at the line of scrimmage. That's been something they've been working on the entire week.
And you can see how they've been doing it on the ground, only 11 passing yards to this point. Joe McKnight, a guy who reported to camp out of shape last season. And that pass over the middle, intended for Santonio Holmes.
You know, as I studied the film of Mark Sanchez this week, I noticed when he misses throws, typically it's behind the intended receiver. And I think he's late with his eyes sometimes. You're going to look at his eyes. He's looking to his left. He comes back inside, and he doesn't pick up Santonio Holmes until late. You cannot miss these receivers on the back shoulder. These are too difficult to catch. And I think that, you know, his eyes are a big thing. He's not doing a good enough job anticipating enough where the holes are going to be in the defense.
There's some movement, and now a late flag is down. You did a lot of studying of film this week, Rich.
Well,
you lock yourself up in your office?
Well, I do. While you're busy doing the crossword puzzles and watching reruns of How I Met Your Mother, I'm watching videotape.
How I Met Your Mother?
That's pretty good, wasn't it?
Neutral zone infraction. Number 99, defense. His movement into the neutral zone caused a reaction by
Marcel Darius, the nose tackle for Buffalo, called on the penalty. Where do you get film? We've been through this before. It's videotape.
I still watch the 9mm. I have it.
Where do you get it from?
NFL Films. I have.
You study film. What is that about?
Well, you know, I'm an old school
Are
guy,
you
Mark.
really
You know
studying
that.
film when you lock that door? What do
you know? You've called me late at night. I'm in there watching film. Maybe some of these quarterbacks need to watch more film. I don't know.
Second out and 5. Green and Connor in the backfield as they split. Sanchez throws. Santonio Holmes for a first and goal off the reception. It is a 6-yard pickup.
Well, they haven't had a ton of production in the passing game. Santonio Holmes is going to push up. Little hook route right in the middle between the corner and the safety. Jarris Byrd late getting there, trying to help his buddy Drayton Florence. Not a lot of explosive plays, Marv, when you look at this offense, the passing game.
Jets have a first and goal at the 3-yard line. Green the lone setback. Sanchez will throw to Holmes. And it is incomplete. Not able to hang on. He was covered by Aaron Williams, the rookie out of Texas, playing for the injured Terrence McGee at the left corner spot.
Well, this is what you've got to do. You've got to go after the rookie corner, Aaron Williams, when you have that matchup with Santonio Holmes. He has it, then right there at the end, he can't bring it down. Of course, you have to maintain possession through the ground.
Brings up a second and goal at the 3. Sanchez now just 3 of 9, 17 yards. Fakes the handoff, and he throws. Touchdown! A wide open Justin Keller makes the catch for his 3rd touchdown of the season. Beautiful play fake. And there was no one in sight of Keller. Nick Folk coming on for the extra point attempt. The holder is the 41-year-old backup quarterback Mark Brunell. Tanner Prudent will snap it. The game is tied at 7.
Well, you look at the safeties are going to be late. They just do a nice job selling the action. And Dustin Keller sneaks right out. Shepard and Searcy with their eyes in the backfield.
Justin Keller on that 3-yard touchdown reception to cap off 10 plays, 78 yards. So the Jets and the Bills are now tied at 7. Kickoff by Nick Folk. Leonis McKelvin on the return. Taken down inside the 20-yard line. Mark Sanchez talking with Jets offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, son of former NFL head coach Marty Schottenheimer.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Jared, the gallery of jewelry with 5 times the selection of ordinary jewelry stores. And by AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible.
A program reminder, Tuesday, the hottest women in the world walk the runway with Maroon 5, Kanye West with Jay-Z, and Nicki Minaj, the Victoria's Secret fashion show, only CBS. Buffalo Bills will start out from their 19-yard line. They're led to the line by the center, I should say today's center, Craig Urbick, who has not had any difficulties to this point. Eric Wood, the starting center, a very important man in the Bills scheme, out of action for the rest of the season. Fitzpatrick on the roll, able to connect with Spiller, and he's been a major factor in this first half. C.J. Spiller out of the backfield, picked up 4 on the play. Time for an NFL Today update. JB and Shannon Sharp.
Benson was stopped once, Shannon.
Some say the lights are mighty bright on. That was George Benson. He couldn't run like Cedric Benson, and Cedric couldn't sing, but he could score a touchdown. 7-7. Bengals.
I would not want Marv to have my singing in his wild and wacky plays. Back to Marv and Rich.
All right, guys. Fitzpatrick with a bullet to the outside, and he has Chandler. Scott Chandler makes the catch across the 30, and it's a first down for Buffalo. Ryan Fitzpatrick playing well here in the first half, 7-year man out of Harvard. Ryan told us a couple weeks ago that his dad works for a missile manufacturing defense contractor, and Ryan said his father likes to claim that he's a rocket scientist.
Well, his son's pretty smart as well. Obviously, a Harvard graduate. Just been so impressed by how well he has played in the early part of the season, and even now when you consider all the injuries around him. Bit of a gunslinger.
False start, number 75, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains
Chris
first down.
Hanston, the left tackle, who was starting for the injured Demetrius Bell, called on that penalty. As you see some of the injuries that you just discussed.
Too much change along the offensive line. You got a rookie starting at left tackle. You've got the 3 different centers in 3 different weeks. That's stressful for the quarterback. And yet through it all, this guy has hung in there and battled. Just got to do a better job taking care of the football. 13 turnovers in the last 5 weeks.
As a 1st and 15, took a shot, still unloads. It is incomplete. Intended for Brad Smith, who was covered by Antonio Cromartie. Ryan Fitzpatrick telling us he was looking forward to this matchup. It's a meeting of 2 guys with the longest arms in the NFL, talking about Cromartie and Smith.
That is a good matchup, and I think that you watch Antonio Cromartie here. We've seen it twice now. He doesn't do a great job locating the ball. Either that or he just can't see it. And that one there's a chance for Brad to make that catch. You've got to win the one-on-one battles against these 2 corners. Cromartie and Revis, 2 of the best at jamming, disrupting the receivers at the line of scrimmage.
Fitzpatrick had completed 8 in a row before that, and now able to connect with Stevie Johnson across the 35. Darrelle Revis on the stop. That's a 9-yard pickup.
Well, Stevie Johnson's going to make a lot of moves. He loves playing against press coverage. Look at the patience there. And that's what you have to have with Revis. You've got to be physical. You can't be basic with them. And you've really got to work to set up the routes. It's a lot like a chess match, and you can't do the same things over and over against Revis.
Would you stay away from Revis, or do you have to challenge him once in a while?
I think you've got to challenge him, but you have to make sure that you see the throw and that the receiver has separation.
3rd down and 6. Fitzpatrick with time and is able to complete to Johnson for a first down, and again he went right at Rivas. That's good for 7. And for Stevie Johnson, who, as you mentioned earlier, had been quiet. He's been under the weather the last couple of weeks. That is his 4th catch of the day.
And Rivas actually has help over the top from Bradley Poole. Takes a perfect throw and a perfect catch to get it done here. And I really think when you play against a guy like Rivas, that's what it takes. Perfect route, perfect throw, and a perfect catch to get a completion against one of the best cover corners.
Buffalo first out at their 41-yard line. Spiller looks to get to the outside, stiff-arming his way, and a flag is down in the backfield. Eight minutes, 52 seconds remaining in this first half. The game is tied at 7.
There's no foul for offensive holding on the play. 2nd down.
Well, they wave it off.
We can see Rex there. I never quite understood why they throw the flag and then pick it back up and say there's no holding.
The replay in their mind apparently
they
hit on something and they made a change, or perhaps a brief discussion with another official.
Somebody had a better angle. That drives you crazy, though, as a defensive coordinator, as a head coach on the sidelines. You see that flag, you're thinking you're going to get him backed up.
2nd down and 4. Spiller is stopped at the line, stopped by Garrett McIntyre, who again in the starting lineup for Jamal Westerman. Brings up a 3rd down and 4. And now Deshard Choice, a recent addition to the Buffalo squad, will make his Bills debut. A former Dallas Cowboy, former member of the Washington Redskins, signed as a free agent this week, participating in only 2 practices and a walkthrough. Played his college ball at Georgia Tech for the Bills head coach, Chan Gailey. Took the handoff, had nowhere to go. Stopped by Jamal Westerman.
Well, this play had no chance. Look at all of the Jets defenders up around the line of scrimmage. And Ryan Fitzpatrick has to do a better job. You can't waste plays in this situation. That's what the audibles are for. Can't run the ball into a 9-man front.
Jim Leonard is back. 2nd punt for Brian Moorman. And a rarity, had one blocked by Miami last season. Oh, Leonard made the catch deep, took a hit, was able to ride off it, and then had nowhere to go. Instead of letting it bounce into the end zone, Leotis McKelvin was right on the scene off that 53-yard punt. Familiar face, James Gandolfini, part of the 80,000 on hand here at MetLife Stadium as the Jets take over deep in their own end. Sanchez with a play fake in trouble in the end zone and just looks to get rid of the football, avoiding a safety. Spencer Johnson, the outside linebacker, putting the pressure on.
Well, we've talked about some of the fumbles with Mark Sanchez this year. Watch how he's carrying the football. Careless with the ball in the pocket, particularly working out of your own end zone. This is something he's got to get straightened out. Is that you look at the tape, 19 fumbles from Mark in the first 2 years, 7 already this season. Boy, you got to be smart. 2 hands with the ball in the pocket.
I know that's something that you discussed with him.
Ball security, it's the most important part of playing that position.
2nd down play, an opening for Green. Makes his way to the 10, met there by the strong side linebacker Chris Kelsey, picked up just 2.
Well, you look at the difference here, yards per rush, and this is what the Jets want. This is who they are as a football team. They want to be a physical, downhill running team, and this is something that Rex has been preaching, not just to the offense, but to Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, all week. We've got to be able to run the ball in November and December.
6.5 remaining in this first half. The game tied at 7. It's a 3rd down and 8 for Sanchez. Incomplete. Intended for Santonio Holmes along the near side. He was covered by Aaron Williams, the left corner.
Well, the Bills expect their corners to hold up and win the battle with these receivers, and you're going to see a ton of man-to-man coverage. They don't care that Aaron Williams is a rookie. They're going to put him out there and let these guys cover.
T.J. Conley booting from his end zone. And Kelvin is calling for the fair catch and makes it at midfield. 39-yard punt. So Sanchez just 4 of 12 for 20 yards. Buffalo with excellent field position.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence. And by the Philips Norelco Senso Touch 3D. A great shave, dry or wet, with gel or foam.
Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest news, scores, and highlights from around the NFL. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Buffalo with its best starting position. They're at midfield. Bills and Jets tied at 7. Spiller try to get something going as made his way straight ahead, just a yard on the play. Mike DeVito, the defensive end, on the tackle. The Buffalo Bills at 5-5. They've lost 3 in a row, 4 of the last 5. You're looking at their starting center, Craig Urbick, with Eric Wood out. Andy Levitre having some troubles last week against Miami. Urbick, who had never played center until last season, and he did on a limited basis, handling the snaps today. He said never even snapped in high school or college. Play action by Fitzpatrick, and the screen comes up short. Intended for Scott Chandler. Calvin Pace putting the pressure on. Set for an update. Let's go to JB and Shannon.
Matt Leinart's got some shoes to fill, Shannon.
JB, well, when you're the number 1 rush offense in football, you can do this. Play fake. Joel Dreesen, Matt Leinart, first touchdown pass in almost 3 years, Jay.
Wow.
14-10, Texans.
Back to Marv Albert and Rich Gannon.
Yeah, just his second start since 2007. He couldn't have stepped into a better situation. Great defense and 2 of the better running backs in football.
Crowd trying to get the Jet defense going. It's a 3rd down and 9. Here's Fitzpatrick stepping up and completing inside the 35 as he hits David Nelson, but a penalty marker has been thrown. Eric Smith making the stop. 13-yard pickup. Another flag comes flying out at the 40. So 1 in the backfield and 1 further up the field.
You see that one in the backfield. That's typically offensive holding.
There are fouls by both teams on the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness number 51 for contact to the quarterback. Personal foul, late hit after the play was over, number 60. Those fouls offset. 3rd down.
All right, the late hit by Craig Urbick, the Buffalo center. The personal foul called on Aaron Nabin, the linebacker for the Jets. Buffalo's 1st-round draft pick in 2009. A huge disappointment. He was cut inside by the Jets.
Yeah, Aaron Nabin has gone up against his former teammates. You see the frustration. See Spiller trying to stick up for his quarterback.
Spiller in the backfield for the Bills. He has gone most of the way, replacing the injured Fred Jackson. 3rd and 8. Fitzpatrick in trouble. And it's Aaron Nabin, the former Bill, who comes up with his 4th sack of the season. 1st of the day for the Bills.
Well, you're just going to see him. He just gets a good start. Low stance off the edge, a sprinter stance, and he's just going to be working against the right tackle, Eric Pierce, and he just beats him around the edge. That speed rush gets it done, and Ryan Fitzpatrick never feels him on his backside.
Punting unit has come on. Brian Moorman from inside his 35 gets away with beauty. He was able to angle it. They say it went out at the 1. What a punt by Moorman. 48 yards, and the Jets will have to start from deep in their own territory. Yes, Brian Moorman enjoying that punt. And right here, back to New York for an update. JB and Shannon.
Atlanta looking to get rowdy, Shannon.
Yes, Roddy White. They really want one of those playoff spots, JB. 14-0 over the Vikes in the Georgia Dome.
Back to Marv and Rich.
Well, the Bills wasting a very good drive possibility as they started out at midfield. John Connor, the fullback, picked up a couple, met by Spencer Johnson.
Well, you got to learn to take advantage of every opportunity in this business. You see a couple 3 and outs there for the New York Jets. And, Marv, it's all about, when you look at this team, it's about consistency and execution. And they have not done that well enough, really, in any phase of it, whether it's passing the football or running the football. I think communication needs to be better. From the sidelines to the quarterback to receivers.
Second down and 8 off the play action. Sanchez with time, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Florence. Once again, Mark Sanchez intercepted, hearing it from the crowd. 11th time that he has been picked. And it puts Buffalo in a very good spot with 3.5 left in this first half.
Well, here's what Mark doesn't understand. He's trying to throw the post route, but he's got to be able to feel the safety. The safety's going to work over the top. So knowing that, the corner, Drayton Florence, knows he has help inside. So what's he going to do? He's going to undercut the route. And Mark, you can't make this throw from your end zone. He's being very aggressive and with late throws down the middle. They sell out there, an 8-man protection. They always throw down the field. He's got to throw that away.
For Florence's 3rd interception of the season. Fitzpatrick on the run and dives close to the 15. Covered up by David Harris, picked up 4.
Well, the one thing the Buffalo Bills have been able to do is take advantage of turnovers. Look at that, 82 points off of turnovers, 4th most in the NFL. And Chan Gailey will be aggressive with the play calling because he really trusts his quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, to make good decisions. If it's not there, he's willing to check it down and move on.
And Rich, not the Bills team we saw against Miami last week, or the Bills team that got blown out by Dallas 2 weeks ago. Fitzpatrick completes down at the 5 to the tight end, Scott Chandler. It'll be a 1st and goal for Buffalo.
Well, he's gone to his tight end, Scott Chandler, a number of times already in the first half. And I think he likes that matchup with the safety, Bradley Poole. Scott Chandler, you can see him using his hands at the top of that route to get some separation. Bradley Poole has his hands full right now with Scott Chandler.
3rd catch of the day for Chandler. Coming up on 2 minutes to play. First half. Spiller is the lone setback. Short set. Fitzpatrick fires. Touchdown. Stevie Johnson over the middle. And he beat Darrelle Revis. He continues to go at Revis. That's a 5-yard touchdown play. Johnson with his 5th catch of the half.
Yeah, they're going after Darrelle Revis, and you got the sense last night that Stevie Johnson was really looking for it. Now watch Revis before the snap. He's going to back out, and that allows Stevie Johnson to take that one step and work right across his face.
Stevie Johnson with his 5th touchdown of the season. He now has 51 catches. He leads the Bills in receptions.
That's a different Stevie Johnson than we saw last week. He was banged up. He had that sprained AC joint. Didn't get off to a good start, and I just thought he didn't have the confidence.
Dave Rayner adding the extra point, and Buffalo has taken a 14-7 lead. It was set up by the interception by Drayton Flores. So once again, a bad interception thrown by Mark Sanchez, leading to the touchdown. 2 minutes, 6 seconds remaining in this first half. That touchdown drive, just 3 plays, 20 yards, minute 25. It began with the interception of Sanchez by Florence. You know, many Jet players saying this week that they feel the season is essentially on the line in this game. The Jets sit in 9th place in the AFC, the Bills 10th. Only the top 6 clubs will make the playoffs, so a huge game for both. If you're looking at 5 and 6 at this point, it can be done, but it would take a miraculous turnaround on not only the part of whoever loses here today, but on the teams that they are battling for a wild card spot.
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, they're among 4 teams that trail Cincinnati for that number 6 seed. You know, they don't have the head-to-head tiebreaker with teams like Baltimore, Oakland, and Denver, who they've already lost to.
Onside kick attempted, and it is recovered by the Jets.
I don't really think this was an onside kick. I think he's trying to drive this ball low, and it actually bounces off the up. Actually bounces off of Emmanuel Cook.
Let's take another look.
I think he's trying to drive this, and he just mishits it. And fortunately for the Jets and Emmanuel Cook, he's able to jump on it. I just think he mishits this kick. Look, he's not trying to onside kick that. He's trying to drive that ball down the field.
Yeah, I think you're correct. It's kind of a line drive attempt.
That's a kicker that mishit it.
Yeah, hit Cook, and could be a break as the Jets will have it at the Buffalo 36-yard line. Sanchez completed. Green rolling across the 30, but a flag is down.
Personal foul, number 99, defense for illegal helmet contact on the quarterback. 15 yards.
Top the nose tackle, Marcel Darius, as we come up to the 2-minute warning. Let's see if the Jets can take advantage. They're trailing 14-7. Got a sports fan on your list? Well, you can avoid the crowds with CBSSports.com shop, and this weekend only get free standard shipping on all officially licensed gear. Enter CBS free during checkout at shop.cbssports.com. 1st and 10 for the Jets. Sean Green in the backfield. Green tried to stutter step his way, and he is stopped at the line by Chris Kelsey.
We're going to hear Mark Sanchez say kill a lot today at the line of scrimmage, and that's really, they have what they call a check with me package. They'll call a run, strong side run to a weak side run. They might call a run to a pass, and Mark's going to get up to the line of scrimmage. He's going to preview the front and coverage, and if he likes the play they have, he's going to let it roll. If he doesn't like it, he's going to kill to the second play called in the huddle.
Holmes to the left, Burris to the right, and now Joe McKnight is on the wing. Empty backfield for Sanchez, and he throws end zone. It is almost picked off by Justin Rogers.
What's happening is these Bills defenders are undercutting these routes. They're running seam routes, and you're going to see the tight end working up the seam. And right there, Justin Rogers is going to undercut that route to Patrick Turner. Mark Sanchez has to be smart. You've got to see out in front of throws, and you have to understand angles, particularly in this part of the field.
Rogers, the rookie out of Richmond, a 7th-round draft pick. 3rd down and 10 at the Buffalo 14. Sanchez throwing, end zone, touchdown! Shaquille Burris with his 7th touchdown of the season. 14-yard pass play. So that low kick that took a bounce has been a major factor, and the Jets able to take advantage. Nick Folk looking to tie it. And he does. Minute 3 remaining. First half, the game is tied at 14. Within a minute 3, won by the Bills. And a moment ago, Sanchez to Burris. The kickoff by Folk. And McKelvin decides to stay right there.
When we go back and look at the scoring play, keep an eye on the safety, Norris. He's going to get fooled. He's going to be watching the tight end run the out route, and he allows Plex to go right by him on the post. And a little indecision right there is enough to give Mark Sanchez enough room to hit Plex in the back of the end zone. They've got to do a better job passing that off and communicating in the secondary.
The Bills will start out from their 20-yard line. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon from the New Jersey Meadowlands with the game tied at 14. Fitzpatrick out of the shotgun. And it's incomplete. That was thrown low, intended for David Nelson.
You know, when you look at his throws over the last month, the ones that he's missed have been high. And I talked to him a little bit about that, and I think part of the reason is he's been thrown off his back foot because they've gotten so much pressure up inside, and that affects your vision, especially if you're just 6'2", and then the balance and the weight distribution, something we talked to him about from a technical standpoint.
2nd and 10 from the 20, just under 1 minute remaining first half. Fitzgerald going short range. It is incomplete, intended for Stevie Johnson, covered by Darrelle Revis, who has had a very busy first half.
And I think it's great that they've gone after Darrelle Revis. I mean, you just can't give a player like that a free pass or a day off. You can't come out here and say, we're not going to work to the side of Darrelle Revis. And I think the Bills have done a really nice job of that, and I think more importantly, Stevie Johnson has looked at it as a challenge, a real opportunity to work against Darrelle Revis.
That's what he told us last night, and we're saying, oh yeah, of course.
I thought he was kidding us.
Good luck, Stevie, and he's done a terrific job. Fitzpatrick taken down. Again, it's the former Buffalo Bill, Aaron Maben, who's done a good job for the Jets. That's his 2nd sack of the half. He has 5 for the season.
It's all about matchups. You're going to try and get Aaron Maben around the end, and he's going to be blocking. Scott Chandler's going to try and block him. And right from the get-go, they're in trouble because they're one short. If it's not Aaron Maben, then it's going to be the safety, Donald Strickland. Not a good job recognizing pressure and adjusting with your protection scheme.
Now a timeout is taken by the Jets, so they are down to 1 remaining. Buffalo has all 3. Jets at 5-5. They've dropped their last 2, losing to New England. That was here, then losing at Denver in that Thursday night game. He just did get it off. Leonard, nice cut, and then taken down. A couple of flags also come in. Backup tight end Mike Cousin involved in the stop. 51-yard punt and a 12-yard return.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 34 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
called on Marquise Cole. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Well, the guys going through their customary intensive preparation. Boomer demanding, what time is lunch being served?
Boomer.
I'm told the catering is excellent, Rich.
I think that's their biggest concern right now. What's for lunch?
So. 38 seconds to play in this first half, 1st and 10 at the Jet 40-yard line. Joe McKnight returns to the backfield. On the screen, it's McKnight. Oh, he is submarined out of bounds, just shy of midfield. It was Aaron Williams with the hit. McKnight picked up 8. Clock is running.
Boy, really nice tackle here at the end. You're going to see he's going to come off. He's being blocked by Dustin Keller. Great effort there by Aaron Williams.
Now to 15 seconds. The Jets do have one timeout left. Sanchez with protection, fires deep downfield. Intended for Patrick Turner, the 3-year man out of Southern Cal. He drew double coverage. He goes 6'5", 220 pounds.
You see Patrick Turner in the slot. Again, safeties. These are tough throws to fit in when you have Searcy getting help from Drayton Florence. I mean, they're not high percentage throws down the middle of the field.
Patrick Turner, originally a 3rd-round pick of Miami. He was claimed off waivers last season. We're down to 7 seconds to go. Sanchez with a bullet over the head of Santonio Holmes, who took a pretty good shot and did not like it.
Well, he didn't like the fact that he got hit. And he probably doesn't like the fact that Mark Sanchez led him to a head-on collision. Your job as a quarterback is to see out in front of throws, and you can't lead these receivers. The hit they can't take is the one from the front. You've got to be their eyes.
And I know you mentioned that to Ryan Fitzpatrick, who had that problem last week in the game against Miami.
Yeah, that's your job. You see some of these hellacious hits on Sundays around the National Football League, and sometimes it's quarterbacks being overly aggressive with the football.
Jets just took their final timeout. Well, we said right at the start that this is a critical game for both the Jets and the Bills. They both come in at 5-5. They're both battling out of the number 9 and 10 spot in terms of playoff position in the AFC. Battling for the possibility of getting close in terms of a wild card. We label them in the hunt, particularly with Pittsburgh at 7-3 and Cincinnati at 6-4. And you see the division leaders.
Yeah, they've lost to a couple of those teams already, as we've talked about earlier. They lost to Baltimore, lost to Oakland, and lost to Denver. So Jets have very little margin for error.
Antonio Cromartie, defensive back, is lined up as a receiver. Sanchez with the throw. It is caught by Keller, running to his right. He eludes one tackler as time runs out. He wants to lateral. Down he goes. Nick Barnett was able to wrestle him to the ground as this first half comes to a close. So that's the end of the first half here at the Meadowlands. Tied at 14. We'll be back with the Sprint Halftime Report after this word and a word. Back at the New Jersey Meadowlands halftime, and the Bills and Jets are tied at 14 as we take a look at the Droid Razor play presented by Motorola. Late first half, Ryan Fitzpatrick on the 5-yard pass to Steve Johnson. It's been handled by Darrelle Revis, and Johnson continues to go at him and has had success with 5 catches. What about Mark Sanchez in the first half? 8 of 20, 66 yards. He has thrown for 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, he's got to play better, Marv. Some questionable decisions from Mark Sanchez, the interception, Drayton Florence, particularly some decisions in the red zone, and that's what's really hurt him in the past. He's got to play better here in the second half.
look at the halftime statistics.
Now you look at the points off of turnovers, and in a game like this, a divisional game that's going to be close, that means so much to both teams. I mean, you can't afford to make those type of mistakes. And the other thing that jumps out at you is the rushing yards, the rushing differential. The Bills have to be able to run the ball with C.J. Spiller a little bit here in the second half.
Nick Folk with the kickoff. Leotis McKelvin is deep. So they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line as we take a look at the stat line for both Ryan Fitzpatrick and Mark Sanchez.
Well, we talked about Mark Sanchez there just a minute ago, but Ryan Fitzpatrick, very effective in the first half, Marv, 12 of 18. The thing I like about Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's got good accuracy, knowledge of the system, but his anticipation. You watch when the ball comes out of his hands. He's got the ability to fit it into some tight windows, but it's because of his anticipation.
If you were working with Fitzpatrick this offseason, what suggestions would you make?
I think I'd reel him in a little bit with his aggressiveness. I think that's what gets him in trouble. He's got such confidence in his decision-making and his ability to fit the ball into some tight windows. That's what gets him in troubles, and that's where the turnovers show up.
Well, Fitzpatrick airs it out again. He goes to Stevie Johnson in front of Darrelle Revis. Picked up 8 on that play.
Well, Stevie Johnson is getting the better of this matchup already. He's gotten off to a really good start by running really clean, crisp routes like that. You've got to be physical with Darrelle Revis, but you also have to be patient. You can't go up there and just do the basic routes each week. You've got to be able to change it up. And that's what Stevie Johnson has done in the first half.
6 catches, 52 yards for Johnson. Second down and 2. Just underway. Third quarter. Spiller looking for the hole. And to this point, I'd say no problems in terms of the center snap. Craig Urbick doing it. Remember Eric Wood, the starting center, very important man for the Bills, out for the season. Andy Levitre, who is back at left guard, had a tough time in Miami last week, and then the rains came, which made the ball slippery. So
felt bad for him.
It made things even worse, and Urbick took over and did very well.
Yeah, I think he's embraced the challenge and the opportunity, and I think he had the right attitude last night when we sat down and visited with him. He was really looking forward to playing here today.
First down play, and it is Spiller who is gang tackled, picked up just a yard on the play. We're talking with Craig Urbick last night, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who seems to like to hang around to listen to what his teammates have to say. And Ryan said he kept telling Craig that he is let's say diplomatically, the largest center in the NFL at 6'5", 325, although Ryan used another word for largest. Did he say fattest?
I think he did.
That's not nice.
Craig Urbick, they went right on the...
He took it well.
Yeah, they went and looked it up. They went on the internet and they tried to find out. And in fact, at just about 29 pounds, he is the heaviest center.
Fitzpatrick with a beautiful pass. Brad Smith goes for 17.
Well, this one's coming right at you, and it's just a slight hesitation by David Harris that makes him late to the slant route, and seeing more of Brad Smith today. When you think about his role in this offense, not a ton of training at wide receiver, and yet he's made some big catches already in this game.
Signed as a free agent from the Jets, and Chan Gailey, like Brad Smith, added to the offense. He had slashed Cordell Stewart when he was an assistant in Pittsburgh, and Stewart did very well as Fitzpatrick is being chased and was able to elude it. Chased by Garrett McIntyre, number 50, and picked up 9 on that run.
And this is something that Ryan Fitzpatrick has been able to do, but we haven't seen as much of it this year because he's been in such a great rhythm throwing the football, but he can make some plays with his legs outside the pocket.
Getting back to center, Craig Urbick, and the remarks by his quarterback. Craig says he looks at it differently. He says he's the most well-built and shapely center.
He was great. It's the first production meeting he'd ever been to, so he wore a sport coat in last night for you and I. How about that?
No, he was nervous to meet you. And here is Spiller finding the hole. Fitzpatrick made sure to say, hey, you're looking at the MVP four-time Pro Bowler, and he's looking at me.
Yeah, well,
I didn't get that.
He got a little confused. He was nervous.
He was confused.
And I was concerned if he was going to be nervous for today. But, he's gotten off to a good start. He's played well. And the most important thing is the center-quarterback exchange. It's something we sometimes take for granted. It was a problem last week for the Bills. We saw a bunch of problems, particularly in the shotgun. But, of course, most of them were with Andy Levitre.
Urbick, a second-year man from Wisconsin. First down for Buffalo. Nice fake, end around. It's Smith. So Brad Smith very much a part of this game plan here today with the Bills short-handed. That goes for about 3.
Well, you think about the problems that they've had, losing Fred Jackson, arguably your best offensive player. I think it's impossible to replace his production in this offense. And he's such a complete back who did it all. The running game, catching, blocking, his versatility. Think about he accounted for almost 40% of their scrimmage yards and nearly 75% of their rushing yards. And yet they've had to do it with C.J. Spiller and throwing the football.
Second down and 7 at the Jet 38. Spiller took a hard hit, able to hold on as Uha, the nose tackle, made contact. C.J. Spiller, in the earlier meeting against the Jets about 3 weeks ago, carried only twice for 5 yards.
Yeah, just 21 carries coming into today's game. And he's not a very big back at 5'11", 197 pounds. And he's struggled a little bit with ball security and the pass protection as a rookie. And with how well Fred Jackson has played, he's gotten very limited reps at running back.
So Fireman Ed leading the chance for the Jets. Mike DeVito shaken up on that last play, heading to the sideline. 4 down and 6. Out of the gun. Spiller with nowhere to go. Stopped by Eric Smith, the Jets' free safety. That's a loss of 3, and we'll bring on the punting unit.
Well, Rex Ryan, his defense has actually played pretty well in spurts, but not with the type of consistency that he had hoped for. And he said on Friday, we're not quite there yet, not up to our standards. 2009, they were the best in all of football, 3rd last year, currently 7th. And I don't care who it is, you can't let a team drive 95 yards at the end of the game to win, and that was something that really bothered him about last week.
Foreman's punt ends up in the end zone to bring it out to the 20-yard line, and here comes Mark Sanchez.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by the One, the Accord from Honda.
Jets getting set to kick it off. 8 plays, 80 yards, 5 minutes, 4 seconds. Once again, Dustin Keller from Mark Sanchez. The Jets with their first lead of the game. They have scored 14 straight points to take the lead. The kickoff by Folk. Leotis McKelvin on the return. Put his head down, able to make his move across the 25. Donald Strickland with the tackle. Here comes Ryan Fitzpatrick as Buffalo takes possession. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon from the New Jersey Meadowlands. 3:45 remaining. 3rd quarter. Jets have taken a 21-14 lead. Fitzpatrick throwing sideline, short of a first down. Again connects with Stevie Johnson. Met by Darrelle Revis. This Wednesday, join Lady Gaga and your favorite superstars when LL Cool J hosts the Grammy nominations concert that's live, only CBS.
It's almost like Ryan Fitzpatrick is trying to pick on Darrelle Revis with Stevie Johnson. It's amazing what we're seeing.
I don't know, you can take that to a point and then they get burned on that. As Spiller takes the hit. Uha with the tackle and no gain on that play. That touchdown by Mark Sanchez moments ago, his third of the game, which ties a career high. And Mark was telling us Friday after practice that he takes full responsibility for the subpar play of the team. He says he's made some bad decisions. Poor reads, says I've made too many mistakes. We killed ourselves on second down, particularly against Denver. And he's come through in the second half. He's really picked it up. Now let's see what Ryan Fitzpatrick can do. Throws the middle, and it is broken up. David Nelson taking a hard hit. It is incomplete.
I always say it hurts a lot less if you just catch it, and takes his eyes off it right at the last second, and Jim Leonard's right there to chop him down. I love watching Jim Leonard play. It's amazing for a guy that's just 5'8" and 188 pounds. He does a really nice job throwing his weight around inside.
Jim Leonard originally entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent of Buffalo back in 2005. Here's Mormon's punt. A short punt. That was a fair catch and muffed. Also heard a whistle. Looked like Leotis McKelvin was trying to make that catch. I think he got fooled on the trajectory. A short punt.
That's a live ball.
The punt was muffed by the receiving team, subsequently recovered by the kicking team. Buffalo's ball, 1st and 10.
Well, another big turnover from the Jets and Antonio Cromartie, and it's actually the ball hangs up and it's a little bit short. You can see Cromartie running up there to get it. Leotis McKelvin has made a bunch of plays today, Marv, in the kicking game. Here's a guy that was demoted from the defensive side of the ball. Hasn't played a lot of defensive snaps, but he's made some big plays in the kicking game.
Kelvin, as you can see, being helped to the sideline following that recovery.
When we talk about turnovers and the problems that they have had this year, the Jets' 11th lost fumble this season. They've had some turnovers in the kicking game, which concerns you. The turnovers, you just don't win football games when you put the ball on the ground.
Coming up on 2 minutes to play here in the third. Buffalo 1st and 10 at the Jet 38. Fitzpatrick throwing deep along the right side. It is caught on a deflection. Touchdown. Brad Smith able to follow the ball off the deflection by Cromartie. 36 yards on that play. The Bills are within 1.
Well, you look at that first touchdown reception since 2007 and did that when he was with the Jets. Antonio Cromartie having a tough day. He's getting picked on here a little bit. First and foremost, Ryan Fitzpatrick gives his receiver a chance versus man-to-man coverage. Now Brad Smith saves the interception. Smart enough to stick his hand in there, tip that ball up, and make a tremendous play on the ball.
Dave Rayner looking to tie it. They're even at 21. Brad Smith signed as a free agent from the Jets, who wanted to re-sign him, comes up with a huge play.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Radio Shack. Radio Shack has what you need to make the holidays so right. And by Acura. Acura Advance.
The New York Jet lead lasted only 1:39. Buffalo coming back on that touchdown and a wild play scored by Brad Smith. Dave Raymer with the kickoff. McKnight across the 20. The kicker back. Got a piece of him, so Raymer was able to guide McKnight out of bounds. It appeared that Brad Smith was trying to avoid the interception and tipped it away and then made the catch. Jets 1st and 10 from their 37. We talked earlier about Rex Ryan attempting that motivational ploy this week. trying to get Mark Sanchez going. He knew he'd get into Sanchez's head by having backup Mark Brunell take a series of snaps in practice. Play action. The pass through the hands of Burris and incomplete. Talking about Rex looking to get Mark Sanchez's attention. Here's Rex talking about it a couple days
Mark's
ago.
played well, but do I want to get the one guy a snap? Absolutely. And I think it does send a message that, hey, look, you know, every single player, no matter how good, whatever, Darrelle Revis doesn't take every snap in practice. Not going to take him out. He's our quarterback. But don't even write that. Let him think it. You know what I mean? So.
Rex says when Mark Sanchez can't stand him, when he bristles, he seems to play better. He's played better here in the third quarter. That pass is broken up. Incomplete. Intended for Patrick Turner. It was a wrestling match between Turner and the free safety, Jairus Byrd. Drayton Florence, the corner, also involved.
Well, he's still being aggressive. He's taking some shots down the field and, again, trying to stick it in between the safety, Byrd, and the corner, Justin Rogers. He's got to be careful. But I was impressed, Marv, with how Mark Sanchez responded. You know, he didn't pout, he didn't complain. I think he took it as a challenge. He really got to work and had an excellent week of practice.
Sanchez looking at a 3rd down and 10. Goes sideline, and it is batted away. There's a dangerous pass, and now Mark Sanchez is hearing the boos from this crowd. We'll step away. Time for an NFL Today update. Here's JB with Shannon.
Speed and LSU synonymous.
JB, 3 weeks earlier, he beat the St. Louis Rams with a 99-yard punt return in overtime. This was not quite as far, but it's just as effective. 80 yards, 20-10.
The
Cardinals.
The rookie from LSU, Marv and Rich.
All right, guys, punting situation for the 4th time. C.J. Spiller is back and lets it bounce. Flag is down.
During the kick, holding number 27 of the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Reggie Corner is called for that penalty.
Well, you can see Mark sitting over there on the sidelines. Got Matt Cavanaugh just 2 down from him. Mark's offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, and that was a bad series for Mark Sanchez, Marv. You know, you look at some of the throws, some of the decisions. He never felt Jairus Byrd on that last one, and you know, you've got to continue to reel him in. You've got to make sure that he stays focused and that he's not taking too many unnecessary risks. That's where he gets himself in trouble.
Buffalo Bills hard hit by injuries. Done a good job here this afternoon. They are just 1-4 on the road, while the Jets have won 4 of their 5 home games. But here's Buffalo tied at 21 with the ball, 1st and 10 from their 19 with 1:38 left. 3rd quarter. Fitzpatrick fired it over the middle. Brad Smith has become a factor. Stopped by free safety Eric Smith. Picked up 8 on the play. Since 2007, NFL Play 60 has been traveling the country, helping the youth of America to be more active and healthy. And this spring, the NFL Play 60 Bus will come to a new deserving community, and it could be yours. To find out more, visit NFLRush.com/bus. 2nd down and 2. Fitzpatrick's pass incomplete. Unusual setup, and he threw it to the near side. Set for another update. JB, Shannon Sharp.
The Red Rifle narrowing the gap.
JB, he was a blonde, but he said, I don't want to remind anybody of Boomer Esiason. He dyed his hair red. Oh, I made that up. 22-yard touchdown throw to Jermaine Gresham. 2017, Cleveland's on top. Cincinnati's coming.
And guess who sent him the red dye?
Boom!
Back to Marv and Rich.
Well, Andy Dalton, 15 touchdown passes, guys, coming into today's game, tied with our own Dan Marino and Peyton Manning for most all time by a rookie through 10 games.
3rd down and 2 as the crowd reacts. It is caught for a first down by the tight end, Scott Chandler. Donald Strickland with the tackle and a 5-yard gain.
I've been really impressed with what I've seen out of the Buffalo passing attack. And it's amazing when you think that they didn't spend a lot of time working together this week. David Nelson missed reps. Stevie Johnson didn't practice on Wednesday. They had scout team players taking reps with the first team offense. Brad Smith taking a lot of reps. So they've looked really sharp despite the fact that Wednesday and Thursday they were very limited with production at wide receiver.
Plus they added 4 or 5 guys to the roster. Here's Spiller on the angle getting across the 35. Flags are thrown as this third quarter is winding down. Jim Leonard made the tackle.
Personal foul, number 79, offense, for unnecessarily contacting a player near the dead ball pile. That's a 15-yard penalty and a dead ball foul. It'll be 2nd down.
That's the second call on the right tackle, Eric Piers. Piers, one-time starter in Denver. It's 3rd year with Buffalo. And they wind the clock down off that penalty. So that's the end of the 3rd. Bills and Jets tied at 21. Will return to the Meadowlands after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Bills and Jets tied at 21 as we head to the 4th quarter. And for both these teams, when we look back after the season, they point at this particular game and say, hey, the season was on the line there. We're both at 5-5, both looking just to get into that category where you're in the hunt for a playoff spot. Even Rex Ryan, who would make those bravado predictions of Super Bowl every year, did get to the AFC Championship game on a couple of occasions. Stevie Johnson with yet another catch for a first down across the 35. Again, he does it against Revis, picks up 16 on the play.
Boy, Revis has his hands full today with Stevie Johnson. And the thing that Stevie Johnson does such a great job of is beating press coverage. And he's doing some things that Darrelle Revis hasn't seen much this year, where he's getting 2 or 3 moves before Stevie Johnson even gets off the line of scrimmage.
Rich Hobbit, 8 catches, 75 yards. As Stevie Johnson was shaken up. Ruvel Martin has come on for Johnson. 4th quarter just underway. Look out. Fitzpatrick able to get it away. Another Buffalo first down. Good move after the catch by David Nelson, who was finally stopped by the inside linebacker, David Harris.
And this was one of the keys when we talked with Chan Gailey last night, is we've got to be really good on 3rd down against this Jets defense. So much pressure, and they've held opponents to a 30% conversion rate on 3rd down. And this is where all the exotic pressures and blitzes show up. And that was something that was of great concern last night to Chan Gailey.
Buffalo first down at their 43. Smith in motion, Spiller in the backfield. And Spiller works his way to midfield.
The thing I like about this offense is that, Chan Gailey has been aggressive, but Ryan Fitzpatrick, he doesn't discriminate. Does a nice job spreading the ball around. You look at the distribution. Stevie Johnson's had an outstanding day. And then even without some of his better receivers, Donald Jones, who's out, Brad Smith has come in and played well, and he's gotten the ball to his tight end, Scott Chandler.
Saw Stevie Johnson make his return. Play fake to Spiller. Fitzpatrick. Nice catch made right at the marker. Might be slightly short. Donald Strickland making the stop on Scott Chandler. And it is a first down.
Well, one of the things that Ryan Fitzpatrick talked to us about last night is that versus all this man-to-man coverage, you're going to have to make some contested throws into some very tight windows, and he's done just that here today.
Smith flanks out to the right. Spiller, the lone setback. First down at the Jet. 47, 3 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter, and a timeout is called by the Jets. And the Jets again are hearing the boos from the crowd. This week we salute NFL Play 60, the national campaign that encourages youngsters to be active for at least 60 minutes per day. Now, prior to today's game, 3 lucky students who completed the Play 60 challenge were on the field with the Jets. A nice reward for a most worthwhile program, NFL Play 60. First and 10 for Buffalo at the Jet 47-yard line. Game is tied. Spiller broke free. Nice move again by Spiller. Gets inside the 40, working his way to the marker. Goes for 9, so he is just short of a first down.
Well, the smaller back, C.J. Spiller's made some nice runs up inside and slicing and dicing his way into the second level of that Jets defense.
Rich, when you look at this Buffalo team and how well they played today, and we saw the other side of the picture last week in the game at Miami, they are playing the way they did at the start of the year when they were 3-0, 4-1, 5-2.
Yeah, it really looks that way, doesn't it? And they're doing it with a number of players that weren't playing back then.
Quarterback sneak. Fitzpatrick has the first down, picked up 2. C.J. Spiller coming on for Fred Jackson, 18 carries, 54 yards. Despite the shuffling of the offensive line, they've done a nice job. The defense has played well.
Yeah, I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick, 10 of 12 here in the second half, deserves a lot of the credit for how he's handled all the changes around him. And also Chan Gailey, who I think is continuing to be aggressive with play selection, and that's how Ryan Fitzpatrick wants to play the game.
11th play of the drive. Spiller is turned back. He ran into Sione Ouha, the 9-year man out of Utah, co-captain.
Well, you're going to see this is not what you want if you're C.J. Spiller running into big nose tackle for the Jets, and he's got about 100 pounds on him. You see 325 pounds to, you look at smaller back like C.J., 197. You're not going to win that battle.
The numbers for Fitzpatrick, 22 for 30, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns. Second down and 9. Fitzpatrick going deep. It is incomplete. Once again, it is Stevie Johnson working on Darrelle Revis. They continue to go in that direction.
Stevie just got to give Ryan Fitzpatrick a little bit more room on the boundary. See how he gets forced to the edge? This is a tough throw for Ryan Fitzpatrick. You've got to give the quarterback at least 3 yards to be able to get that one up and down.
This crowd urging on the Jet defense. 3rd and 9. The ball, the Jet 34. Spiller in the backfield. Fitzpatrick in trouble. Throws on the run. Incomplete. Intended for Ruvel Martin.
Well, this is what the Jets need to do. They talk about getting Ryan Fitzpatrick off the spot, and he's so comfortable when he's able to sit in there in rhythm and make good throws. They've got to be able to flush him like they did on that last play.
This will be a field goal attempt for Dave Rayner, who hit from 56 last week, a career long against Miami. This attempt from 53. Rayner handling the field goal duties due to the injury suffered by Ryan Lindell. And here's the kick for the lead. It is good. Dave Rayner, 6-year man from Michigan State, has given the Bills a 24-21 lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. The Droid Razor by Motorola. Droid strong, razor sharp. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
On that last Bills drive, again, Ryan Fitzpatrick able to hold on to the ball, although they settle for the field goal, but he had it for nearly 7 minutes. And then the long kick by Dave Rayner to give Buffalo a 24-21 lead, and Rayner will kick it off to Joe McKnight. McKnight comes up for it to the 10. Looks to cut back. He's in trouble. Picks up a blocker, and then is pushed out of bounds.
Well, you look at Mark Sanchez's problems as the game has gone on, and look at those numbers in the first quarter, 65% completion percentage. That's really where he has to be. But then look in the fourth quarter. I think there's 2 areas as I studied Mark in his first 3 years. The one area, third down passing. It's an area he has to get better. And then fourth quarter passing. The ability to bring your team from behind, the ability to finish off an opponent. Those are 2 areas where he has to be better.
Starting at the 23 on the draw, this is Green. Picked up 4 on the play. Overall, Sanchez does have 7 fourth quarter comeback victories, but most of those his first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think part of it, Marv, is there's some injuries up front, some inconsistency with the line. That's been the backbone of the Jets' success the last couple of years, and so that hasn't helped. The problems with the running game, and I think that's put more of the emphasis on the passing game. And right now, they're just not good enough. The receivers have to be able to win and beat the one-on-one matchups.
2nd and 6 for Sanchez. He'll run it. Stopped by Chris Kelsey, the strong side linebacker, so Sanchez picked up 3.
Well, a couple things have to happen. Protection's got to be good, and the receivers have got to win the one-on-one matchups. There's nowhere to throw it to there. You look on the other side, Santonio Holmes, where are you going to throw this one? And so it's tough. You got to hold up in the protection. You've got to win the battles, and the quarterback has to be able to make good, accurate throws.
Burris left and Holmes right. Sanchez looking for Holmes, threw behind him.
Yeah, well, what happened is Santonio Holmes is running a little wheel route. He's not even expecting the ball. And there's some confusion clearly between the quarterback and the receiver. Now watch Santonio Holmes. He's going to show the flat, but watch, he never looks back for the ball. Mark thinks he's running the flat route the whole way. You can see that, look at Mark. And that right now is what's hurting the Jets offense more than anything. A lack of execution and communication between the quarterback and receiver.
Is that Holmes blowing it or Sanchez?
Well, you'd have to sit in the film room tomorrow to figure that one out, but regardless, it's not good enough, and it's preventing them an opportunity to be in this game.
C.J. Spiller on the return, ankle tackled across the 25, a 51-yard punt. Marquise Cole making the stop. Chairman Ed looking concerned. His Jets trailing the Bills 24-21. Tashard Choice has come on for the 2nd time. Recent addition to the Buffalo squad, former member of the Dallas Cowboys. The handoff to Choice. Nowhere to go. Running in circles. Stopped by P.T.O. Tua.
Well, they've gotten hurt a couple times now on first down, trying to run the ball into some overloads. And you see 8 men up around the line of scrimmage. There's just nowhere to go with the ball. You got a back that just came in on Thursday, Tashard Choice, and that would have been a good opportunity for Ryan Fitzpatrick to maybe audible and throw there on first down.
2nd down and 13, 7:25 remaining in this fourth quarter. Bills have had the ball for most of the game as Fitzpatrick is taken down by David Harris. 3rd sack for the Jets, the other 2 by Aaron Maben.
Well, they've had difficult time generating pressure with just the front four. So what do? They bring the safety. They also bring the linebacker. Bradley Poole forces him up inside where David Harris is waiting right there to make the sack.
See the pressure on Fitzpatrick. Sacked 3 times, hurried 14 times, 6 knockdowns. 3rd and 17. Fitzpatrick with the completion to David Nelson, but short of a first down. He was wrapped up by Kyle Wilson, picked up 12. Brian Moorman will come on to punt.
Well, mission accomplished by that Jets defense. You get the sack, you force them into a big number on 3rd down, you get off the field, and now you give your offense plenty of time with just a little over 6 minutes to go down there and hopefully drive down the length of the field and score.
Brian Moorman, who had a punt block last week. He had gone 735 without one being blocked until Miami did it a week ago. Leonard with the return. Trying to keep his balance, but he's turned back. So let's see what Mark Sanchez can do here with just under 6 remaining.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Kay Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. And by Subway Restaurants. Get your own Subway steak melt today.
See why Person of Interest is the People's Choice nominee for favorite new drama. This is your chance to catch back-to-back episodes tonight. Sean Green, John Connor in the backfield, lined up in the I formation. Jets start out from their 18. Green trying to make the turn, but could not. Cut off by Nick Barnett. Set for another update. Let's go to JB and Shannon.
All right, Shannon, I know you like this, buddy.
Matt Ryan's 3rd touchdown pass of the day, 3-yarder. Michael Palmer, 24-14. Falcons get some breathing room, JB, over Minnesota.
That capped a 9-play, 73-yard drive. Let's take it back to Marv and to Rich.
All right, JB, 2nd down and 9 at the 19-yard line. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. Flag is down as Patrick Turner made that catch on a short pickup. The call coming up on Buffalo.
The pass, illegal hands to the face, number 23 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
The call on the left corner, the rookie from Texas, Aaron Williams.
Well, you're going to see him try and jam Santonio Holmes right there. And be careful. Be careful with that left hand. I'm Mark Sanchez right now. I'm convincing the other 10 players in the huddle. Listen, field goal's not what we're looking for. We're going to drive down the length of the field in 5 minutes and win this game on offense.
Sanchez has a 1st down by virtue of that penalty call. Green takes advantage of the hole and moves across the 35 for a Jet 1st down. Brian Scott hauling him in. 11 more for Green.
Well, they love to run this power play, and look at this hole. I mean, that's a huge hole. You see the lineman get up on the 2nd level. Do a nice job getting Nick Barnett wrapped up. See Turner downfield blocking the safety. Nice hole there for Sean Green.
1st down at the 35-yard line. Again, it is Green. This time a short pickup. 2-yard advance. So Green 13 carries, 78 yards. I mentioned earlier, LaDainian Tomlinson continues to sit out with that sprained knee. It's been a combination of Green and McKnight. Just under 4 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter, and the Jets trailing the Bills 24-21. There is LT sitting it out. Now McKnight in the backfield. Play action. Sanchez with the time. Leaping catch is made at midfield by Plexico Burress.
Again, really good protection here for Mark Sanchez. He's going to have the opportunity to take 2 or 3 hitches. You're going to see Blacks, he's just going to run the comeback on Drayton Florence. He's got to keep coming back. Really nice protection allowed Mark Sanchez to sit in there and take a couple extra hitches.
Third catch for Burress, 1 for a touchdown, and a first down at the 50. Sanchez intended for Burress, trying to squeeze his way through 2 defenders, and that was almost picked off.
Well, we've had a couple close calls from Mark Sanchez. He's missed on some locations with his throws, and it started early in the first quarter. Drayton Florence undercut Plaxico Burress. Santonio Holmes, another one, and in the back of the end zone. And decision-making's got to be better for Mark Sanchez, particularly in these critical situations.
Second down and 10. On the screen, it's Green. Good job by the Bills, led by Nick Barnett.
Well, Nick Barnett's been a real blessing for the Buffalo Bills coming over from free agency. And this is just a great effort play by Nick Barnett right in the center of your screen. He recognizes screen all the way, and he's going to run across the face. He splits the 2 linemen trying to get downfield. Nick Barnett has made a lot of plays at or around the line of scrimmage.
Third down and 8. Just under 3 left. Fourth quarter. That's Holmes in motion. Low snap. Sanchez completes. First down for the Jets. Inside the 40. Nice catch by Patrick Turner. 3-year man from Southern California, and that's good for 12.
Well, this is a really nice throw by Mark Sanchez, and a good read and a good decision. Just sits in there in time, in rhythm, 1 hitch. He gets that one up and down to Turner.
And they're in the hurry-up, preceding the 2-minute warning. Sanchez, this time it was too low for the tight end, Dustin Keller.
Well, Mark's got to be smart. He's got to understand the situation in the game. You've got plenty of time. You're driving down, you're getting in, you're already in or around field goal range, so you got to be smart. If it's there, pull the trigger. If not, check it down.
Second down and 10. Mentioned that before. 8 career game-winning drives for Mark Sanchez. Out of the gun, little shovel pass. Did not fool the Bills. Joe McKnight is stopped in his tracks by Nick Barnett, which brings us to the 2-minute warning. The Bills 24, Jets 21. The Jets trying to turn things from the performance in Denver last Thursday night. Buffalo trying to stop the losing streak. At 3, the game is tied at 14 as Sean Green gets the call. Met by Chris Kelsey, picked up a yard on the play. Wednesday on Survivor, the final 7 castaways are turning on each other. Sounds like our crew. Don't miss a new Survivor Wednesday, only CBS. You know, Rich, dissension does set in when things might go a little awry.
Absolutely. Happens all the time in this business.
Second down and 9. Green found the hole, has a first down. He's run well. Justin Rogers got the wraps on Green, who picked up 12.
There's a lot to like about Sean Green. Very good runner with great vision and kind of change of direction for a big back. And I think he's a type of runner that can wear down a defense over the course of the game. And you've got to keep feeding him the football.
And as you see, 9 rushes, 59 yards. Getting the call today, LaDainian Tomlinson, who is usually the third down back, is still sidelined by that knee injury. Now Joe McKnight finds some space. Works his way across the 40-yard line. He picks up 9. Danaris Searcy on the tackle.
Well, there's been a lot of criticism of Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, and this kind of offense in general, and I think that there's always plenty of blame to go around. I think when you look at it, the execution and communication needs to be better from everybody. It's never one person or one area. You know, you look at the coordinator, the quarterback, the offensive line, running back, receivers. I think everybody here in New York has to do a better job.
2nd down and 1 for the Jets. Game tied at 14, just under 7 minutes to play in the 3rd. McKnight running hard. Stopped by a combination of Barnett and Johnson, and it is a Jet 1st down.
Well, when your quarterback is struggling, you look at those passing yards, and they get back to what they want to do, and that's run the football. You talk about the ground and the pound, and you look at the play selection here now in the 3rd quarter, and that's what they're going to do. And that's what Rex wants to do. Run the football between the tackles.
Connor and McKnight are the running backs lined up in an offset eye. There's Keller in motion. He moves to the slot. Little hesitation on the play fake. Oh, what a catch by Dustin Keller for a 1st down and more inside the 35. A 22-yard hookup. Jairus Byrd making the stop, but a beauty by Keller.
Well, they love the play action, and Dustin Keller does a nice job at the top, creating some separation from Danaris Searcy. What a wonderful catch and great concentration by Dustin Keller.
3 catches, 43 yards for the 4-year man out of Purdue. Led the Jets last year with 55 receptions. 1st down inside the 35. Screen is set up for McKnight. McKnight to the 20, and another Jet 1st down. Drayton Flores made the stop. 13-yard pickup. Let's send it to JB and Shannon in our New York studio.
A turnover-filled game, Shannon.
Yes, JB, in a 10-10 ball game, the team that makes the fewest of these will win. Hasselbeck, Aqib Talib, 27-yard INT return for a touchdown. Put the Bucs up 17-10 over the Titans. Eat it up, son. Eat it up.
Both squads have a combined 7 turnovers today. Marv and Rich.
Here's the handoff to McKnight. Try to cut back. Picked up 4 on the play. Danaris Searcy makes the tackle.
Well, it's tough as a play caller. You know, you're always trying to find ways to get the quarterback comfortable. And I think right now they're struggling a little bit in the passing game because they haven't run it as well. And play action is such a big part of what they do. And when you're only 26th in rushing, then you're not getting as many 8-man fronts. And you're getting a lot more 2-deep coverage, and that's tough on the quarterback.
Sanchez throwing, has an open man, Keller, touchdown. Dustin Keller, who made that excellent catch just a moment ago, comes up with his 2nd touchdown of the day, number 4 on the season.
This is a wonderful job by the Jets offensive line and pass protection. Look at that pocket for Mark Sanchez. Plenty of time for him to slide to his left and make that throw to Dustin Keller, but it really started up front. And you talk about when a quarterback is struggling, he's going to go find his best friend. And right now for Mark Sanchez, that's his tight end, Dustin Keller.
Nick Folk adds the extra point. The Jets take a 7-point lead.